Okay, so I've had another go at rearranging the camera for my second Stitch With Me video. Thanks for joining me. I'm the Simple Stitcher. So we'll see how this one works because the camera really wasn't great in the last one. But I've shifted it all around and I've picked a different chart. So I'm hoping that it all works this time. It's been a busy week this week. I did my last Stitch With Me video last week. Work's been busy. We are hopefully organised on settling our house on Monday. It's been an interesting process we've done it before, but this time it's been a little bit, the house we're buying is new, so it was built and no one's lived in it. And this week Craig was organising to get all the utilities connected, like electricity, gas, NBN, couldn't get my needle through. NBN, telephone, and Foxtel. So because our house is new, the address hasn't been updated properly with all the facility, all the utilities providers and all of them. So basically our house doesn't exist. So when Craig rang up and he's like, our address is blah, they're like, no, sorry, we don't have that address. You can't connect your gas. Same story for electricity. So he went past the house, which was very innovative thinking because I wouldn't have thought of it, and checked the meter box to make sure that there was a meter box connected, you know, the boxes for the electricity and the gas and that at the house. And of course there was, because it is connected. And it worked out that our unit, instead of being, or our townhouse, it's not a unit, we've bought a townhouse, standalone townhouse, rather than being two unit blah B on our street, say 44B on our street, the meter boxes and everything have been connected as unit 244. So of course no one knows it because it's unit 2, not 44B. So finally Craig worked that out and called them back, and we got we managed to get the electricity and gas booked in to get that connected. So that's important. We'll have heating and we'll have light. We'll be able to cook. But we still don't have the NBN connected, which is a bit of a problem because Craig works from home, so he needs the internet. So he's got to get hold of Telstra's the provider that we use here mainly. So he's going to have to call up and try and get that sorted. So that he can work from home and he'll have the internet sorted. We've still got to get our bins. There's no bins at the property. And I want the big bins. So in Australia, I don't know about elsewhere, we have two options. We can pay for big bins, and they're extra, or you get provided with little versions, like half-size versions. Now, for any normal family, the half-size versions would be okay. Well, I don't know about a household full of kids. We don't have kids. But for a lot of people make do with the half-size bins, and they don't pay for the big bins. But we have 3 cats and 2 dogs and Craig and I. So we need a big rubbish bin, because otherwise all our cat litter, We change our cat litter multiple times a day because our cats are inside all the time. They don't go outside. So we change our litter. We've got 3 cats, and each cat will go to the toilet at least twice in the day, and we pretty much change it each time that it's dirty. So we go through a lot of rubbish. So he's got to organise that, and a big green bin because I like to garden. And when you mow your lawns and stuff, you need to put your lawn clippings in the green bin. And then what else have we got to do? All the funds are transferred for settlement, so hopefully that all goes to plan, but you never know. We've signed everything we need to sign. So hopefully come Monday, settlement will take place without a hitch, and Craig will be able to pick up the keys, and then we'll be able to go past. We had our final inspection on Tuesday, which was great. It was really lovely. It's like, it was a different feel. So when we went to, just trying to angle my, I don't think I can. Sorry, I'm just jiggling with my light so that I can see my chart a bit better. We had our final inspection on Tuesday night, and it was a different feel. Like when we went for the inspections, when we were purchasing the property, it was really different because you're trying to, I'm just going to put this down a little bit. You're trying to work out whether you're going to buy the property or not. So, I mean, I'm sure you've all done it. And it just feels like it's a bit, it's a bit it's like a lot of pressure to make sure that the property is like what you want, and you know you're not there's nothing that you're missing and all that sort of stuff. So it's like really intense. But this time when we went for our inspection, it was really nice because we'd done all that. We'd made our decision. Everything's done and dusted. And now all we've got to do is we're just looking over the place now before we settle. So it was nice, and it's all nice and new inside, and it smells new, and it looks really beautiful. So I'm very excited. Our neighbours are a bit cheeky though. It's going to be interesting to see what our neighbours are like. We had terrible neighbours at our last house. So I was really nervous about the neighbours that we get this time. Simply for the reason that we had one set of horrible neighbours in our last house, and I really don't want a repeat of that this time. But when we went to inspect the house, I said to the agent, because we've got privacy screens on the outside of our windows, and when we went for the inspections when we were buying the house, I said to the agent, because there's windows on the other townhouse across from ours, and they didn't have privacy screens up. And I said to the agent, how come they don't have privacy screens? Like, what's the deal there? I would have thought if we've got to have privacy screens because we're looking into them, then for sure they should have to have privacy screens. You know, so that they can't see into us. And he said, I'll go back and I'll ask the builder. And he came back to me and he said, oh no, the builders said that it's all been built to plan. The other units, I'm going to have to, this is going to be a pain. This frame, I'm using a really big frame, and it's not going to work very well. I'm going to have to plan finishing these threads a bit better. That's not going to work very well, but anyway. Let's let me cut the back of this. And the agent said, no, I've spoken to the builder. The builder said the house is all being built, the unit across the road is being built to council plans and regulations, and there's no, everything's as it's meant to be. I'm like, okay. So maybe I'm a bit too trusting, but anyway. I said, okay, no worries. I think it's a bit strange, but whatever. So when we went for our final inspection on Tuesday night, just threading my needle. We walked up. I got there first before Craig because I don't know, he was dagging around or something. He was slow. Anyway, I got there and the agent and I were just talking out the front. And as we were about to walk, we were thinking we were about to go inside. And then the agent said to me, oh, Emily, did you notice the screens on the back of the other unit, the other townhouse? And I'm like, no. And he goes, yeah, have a look. And I had a look. It's like basically where we were standing in our driveway because we're the back townhouse of the two townhouses on the one block. And I looked up and their back windows that I had questioned not having privacy screens on them had privacy screens again. Had privacy screens all of a sudden. And I said to him, oh my goodness, what's going on there? And he said the builder had been, because he was just doing odd jobs around the property and tidying it up. And when he came, he realised that the people that had bought the unit in front had bought the unit and he'd put the privacy screens up when he bought it. When he sold it or when he built it, they bought it and then before they rented it out, because there's at the moment there's a family that's renting it for 12 months and they're not there. Before they rented it out, they took the privacy screens off the back windows at the back of the house. Oh, what's going on here? Ugh, my stupid phone just went on low power mode, can you believe it? I'm like, why is it? Ah! Jesus. Okay, ignore that. I'm like, why is my phone screen? Okay, so when you look at this right now, you're going to see that there is a whole lot more done since the last shot. I think when I finished up in the last part of the video, I'd done basically to here. That was done. So that was yesterday. So as you would have seen in my last in the last part of the Stitch With Me video, the slow power mode went on. I tried to turn it off, and then between that, dropping the phone, and then not recording, I tried to record after that like 4 times and thought I was recording and wasn't actually recording. So I finally got a last couple of minutes to add on to the end of that video to wrap it up because I was over it and it was a schmozzle. And then I was just listening to it then to edit it to prepare the video to put up. And I realized there was no continuity at all between the last bit of the new snippet of the video and the bit where you just saw it cut off. So I am now sitting down. It is now Sunday evening at, what time is it? 6 o'clock. And I'm just wrapping up this video. So the end of that story with the agent was that he said what the builder did was the builder then called the owners of that property and told them that they needed to put their screens back up. Just wondering if you can, and that they had to put the screens back up. They put them back up straight away, and he also called the council and let the council know that it was the owners that had taken the screens off and that he'd notified them that they needed to put the screens back up on the property. So, because for him it's basically a business risk, and it's his reputation. Because if he's like, I don't know exactly what the implications would be for him, but if the council thinks that he's building properties that aren't to spec or changing things, then he won't, I don't know, he might lose his builder's license or something. So it's really bad for him. Yeah, so I just want to move this camera just a little bit. So yeah, so that was interesting. So we'll see what they're like to live next door to. And the other thing that I was going to mention in my video yesterday was a movie that I watched as well, which was really interesting. It was creepy and science fiction-y, bit creepy, bit spooky, action movie, and it was really good. It had Natalie Portman in it, and it was called Annihilation. It's on Netflix. I often struggle to find video, like stuff on Netflix to watch. My go-tos are like Lethal Weapon, Harry Potter, all those ones, and they must have stopped paying for the licensing fees or something, because you can't watch Harry Potter on Netflix anymore, and you can only watch Lethal Weapon 3, not 1 and 2 and 4, just 3 now, which is really disappointing, because they were my, you know, when you're stitching and you you know, you want to know the movie, you want to follow it, but you don't want to have to be looking up and watching all the time. Like, you want to concentrate on what you're doing. So they're good movies because you enjoy them, and you know, we all have them. So I found this Annihilation with Natalie Portman. I feel like the light somehow I've set this up a little bit differently, and the light's a bit weird. Just going to fiddle with this a little bit. This is very clearly another like, God, it's very clearly another learning movie, learning video. Maybe it's because of the spot that I'm stitching in. See if that's a bit better. I felt like my hand was blocking out the screen when I was stitching then. Yeah, so if you're looking for a good movie, I'd recommend that one. Let's fix that. There we go. So other than that, I just wanted to wrap up that story, touch base, and just finish this video in a way that made sense. Last night I got some of his hair, that little part of his head done, some more of his hair, some of his hair done, and now I'm working on just the cup here. I'll put a photo of it if I can find one at the start of the video or somewhere along in here, so that you can see what he's meant to look like, because I know some people like to see that. So thank you for bearing with me for another Stitch With Me video. Hopefully by the time I get to the third one, I'll have it sorted. It won't be such a schmozzle. Cameras won't cut out, won't be in the wrong position, all that sort of jazz, and it'll be a bit better. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for your comments and your likes, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.